It is one of the world's great mysteries, a biblical conundrum that has baffled scholars for years. Between the ages of 12 and 30, the life of Jesus Christ is unaccounted for.
Toward the end of the service, people start to notice something strange happening with the statue of the Virgin Mary.
Statues are meant to stay motionless, but sometimes they seem to defy all logic. From statues of Jesus Christ slowly opening their eyes to others, shifting their positions or moving their hands.
A one-ton statue is on the move. Today, crews removed a large statue of Jesus.
These scary moments have been caught on camera. Witnesses were left in shock as these lifeless figures appeared to come alive. How and why did these statues move? In this video, we will reveal 15 statues that have been caught moving on camera. The nodding Jesus statue. In the Church of Santa Ana, an unforgettable moment stunned worshippers during a Good Friday Mass. The atmosphere was heavy with devotion as the congregation gathered to observe one of the holiest days of the year. At the center of the rituals was the statue of Jesus, temporarily removed from its glass coffin for the occasion. As the Mass continued, something extraordinary happened. The Jesus statue, which had always been still, began to nod its head. The movements were slow and deliberate, almost as if it were agreeing with the prayers being recited. The crowd was frozen with awe, struggling to believe what they were witnessing. Some whispered in wonder, others stood silently, their eyes fixed on the figure. There's more to reveal. Stay tuned. The tilting statue of Jesus Christ. During a solemn procession, an extraordinary moment left everyone talking. As the Christ statue was carried through the streets, something incredible happened. The head of the statue, known for its stillness, tilted gracefully to one side. It wasn't a sharp or jerky motion, but a smooth and deliberate tilt, as if it were responding to something unseen. Cameras captured the entire event, and the footage quickly spread, leaving people divided on what they were seeing. Some viewers were fascinated by the clarity of the video, which showed every detail, from the shadows cast by the moving head to the bright sunlight surrounding the statue. The Awakening of Buddha Statue. On February 27, 2012, an event at a Buddhist center left over 100 people stunned. As they waited to meet Tong Chu, the abbot, something incredible happened. Buddha statues in the room began to move in ways no one could explain. One statue's lips moved, its chest rose and fell like it was breathing, and soon other statues followed.
Buddha statues in the Pushen Buddhist Service Center were seen moving their lips, blinking, moving their chest and hands.
Eyewitnesses saw blinking eyes, wiggling fingers, and even beams of light radiating from the statues' chests. One recording captured a mysterious blue light appearing behind a statue, while others showed rays of light entering the figures before they began moving. Chu later explained that these statues had previously emitted light, but this was the first time they showed movement. The Wax Museum wonders. The Wax Museum in Mexico City is known for its disturbingly lifelike statues, each crafted with stunning precision. Visitors often marvel at the realism of these figures, which seem to watch silently as crowds move through the dimly lit halls. But one visitor's experience took an unexpected turn, leaving behind a piece of footage that continues to baffle and amaze. As the camera panned over rows of iconic figures, it paused on El Santo, a cultural legend known for his roles in wrestling and film. What happened next was both subtle and unsettling. The wax figure's eyes shifted, a brief but undeniable movement caught on camera. The person filming appeared unaware of the incident, continuing to explore the museum. Later, viewers of the video couldn't believe their eyes as the clip circulated, showcasing what seemed to be a statue coming to life. Our Lady of Guadalupe. In a quiet Catholic church in New Mexico, a statue of the Virgin Mary, lovingly called Our Lady of Guadalupe, has drawn visitors from all over. This statue isn't known for standing still. It has been seen shedding tears.
Our Lady of Guadalupe statue started to cry.
These tears, however, aren't ordinary. They are a mix of olive oil and perfume, known as chrism, a sacred oil used in Catholic rituals. At first, skeptics, including Father Jose Sura, doubted the claims, but security footage and evidence showing the liquid streaming from the statue's eyes made many rethink their skepticism. Investigators confirmed the liquid was chrism, but its unusual color added to the mystery. Crowds came to see the glistening droplets, which seemed to appear out of nowhere. Get ready for the most epic moment of the video: Mary's blinking statue. In a quiet sanctuary, a statue of the Virgin Mary left everyone speechless when it appeared to blink.
The statue of the Virgin Mary seemingly blinked at them during a church event.
Visitors, who had come to pray or find solace, suddenly witnessed what seemed like the statue coming to life. The blink, subtle but unmistakable, felt like an acknowledgement to those present. Videos quickly surfaced online, drawing millions of views and sparking conversations everywhere. Believers saw it as a sign of divine presence, a reminder of Mary's care and protection. For them, it was a moment of comfort and hope during troubling times. Skeptics, however, tried to explain the phenomenon with logical ideas, suggesting illusions or even intentional tampering. Haunted museum in India. Deep within India, a mysterious museum holds statues that seem far from ordinary. This place is anything but welcoming, with an unsettling atmosphere that clings to every visitor who dares to step inside. The statues on display are crafted with an unsettling level of detail, frozen in poses that feel unnervingly lifelike. Their expressions and gestures seem to whisper that something isn't quite right. As visitors wander through the dimly lit halls, the unthinkable happens. The statues begin to move. Some sway, others appear to shift subtly, and a few almost seem to dance, their movements surreal and haunting. One cameraman captured the strange spectacle, only to retreat in shock. Whispers of Graceland. In Chicago's Graceland Cemetery, strange tales surround two statues, each with a chilling reputation. The first is the statue of Inez Clark, a young girl whose tragic death in the 1800s led to a memorial encased in glass.
Chicago, Illinois, at Graceland Cemetery. This place is absolutely huge. There is a little girl that's buried here. She died when she was 6.
But when storms roll in and lightning cracks across the sky, something unsettling happens. Visitors have reported that the statue vanishes, leaving the glass enclosure completely empty. By morning, it mysteriously returns as if nothing ever happened. The other is the eternal silence, a bronze figure draped in a cloak, its hollow face casting an unsettling shadow. Legend has it that meeting its gaze brings terrifying visions of your own death. Some have claimed to see its arm lift slightly, as though gesturing toward the beyond. Attempts to photograph it often fail, with cameras malfunctioning or film inexplicably ruined, adding to its terrifying aura. A thirsty god. In a small, dimly lit temple, something strange was captured on camera that left everyone speechless. A revered statue, carved with intricate details and thought to be lifeless, seemed to come alive. As devotees gathered for their daily rituals, the statue's hand appeared to shift slightly, almost like it was reaching out. This subtle movement was enough to send shivers through the crowd. The camera caught another startling moment. Its eyes, unblinking for decades, seemed to glimmer with life and even shift their gaze. Worshippers froze, unsure whether to be awestruck or terrified. The video spread rapidly, fueling debates among believers and skeptics. Tears. At El Carmen. In a small church in El Carmen, Mexico, a statue of the Virgin Mary became the center of attention after a miraculous event left locals astonished. Witnesses claimed the statue's serene eyes shifted faintly, while others reported its hand subtly moving, as if alive. Adding to the mystery, some observers noticed the statue's eyes taking on a haunting red hue. This was not the first unusual occurrence involving the statue. It had previously been seen shedding tears, causing deep emotional reactions in a community struggling with over 700 homicides in 2023. Many viewed these events as a divine plea for peace, interpreting the movements as a sign of the Virgin Mary's presence and intercession. Dancing Egyptian statue. At Manchester Museum, an ancient Egyptian statue left visitors and staff baffled when it began to move. Captured on time-lapse footage, The 10-inch statue slowly rotated.
This little statuette, which is only about 10 inches high, had started moving in its case, and we were curious.
Its gaze shifting as though it had a mind of its own. Some believed it was tied to ancient curses, a remnant of Egypt's mysterious past. The statue, carved to honor Osiris, the god of the underworld, became a topic of speculation. The movements, however, weren't random. They happened mostly during busy hours, with vibrations from footsteps and nearby traffic subtly causing the statue to turn. Its base was slightly uneven, making it sensitive to even minor tremors. Oddly enough, the activity stopped at night when the city quieted. The video went viral, raising debates between science and superstition, drawing people to the museum for a glimpse of the so-called dancing statue, Sai Baba's animated statue. In India, a statue of Sai Baba, known for its peaceful presence, became the center of attention after a series of strange events. Witnesses were stunned when the statue appeared to move its shoulder in a subtle, deliberate way. The movement caused a piece of cloth draped over it to slip down gracefully, almost as though the statue itself had orchestrated the motion. People initially thought the garment might have naturally loosened over time, but a closer look revealed something far more intriguing. The shoulder movement seemed too precise, almost lifelike, leaving onlookers speechless. Just as the crowd tried to process what they had seen, the situation took another bizarre turn. The piece of cloth, which had momentarily settled near the statue's hand, suddenly fell away completely. This unexpected sequence of events left everyone wondering about the mysterious abilities of the revered figure. You're about to see the biggest reveal, so keep watching. The living statue of Saltillo. In the historic city of Saltillo, Mexico, a seemingly ordinary statue of Christ became the center of a chilling event that left everyone stunned. During a quiet church service, a worshiper's cell phone camera captured something extraordinary. The statue's carved eyes, which had remained fixed and lifeless for years, suddenly appeared to move. In the recording, the gaze of the statue seemed to shift, locking onto the camera with an intensity that was both mesmerizing and strange. What happened next was even more baffling. The statue's eyes slowly began to close, as if it were alive, deepening the mystery of the moment. At first, some dismissed the incident as a play of light or shadows in the dimly lit church, but the deliberate motion of the eyelids silenced doubts, turning skepticism into fascination. News of the event spread like wildfire, drawing crowds to see the figure in real life. The haunted dolls. Haunted dolls are enough to send chills through anyone, especially when they move on camera. One unsettling tale involves a YouTuber named Paul Hayward, who managed to catch his 1970s doll in action after several failed attempts. Sitting quietly in a chair, the doll seemed harmless, but at the 30-second mark of his video, things took a dark turn. A bottle flew off the chair, followed by the doll shifting on its own for nearly 40 seconds. The movement was subtle but undeniably creepy. Another scary story comes from Steve, a YouTuber who wasn't even focused on the paranormal. While casually chatting about his freshly shaved head, the doll in the background began to move. Steve remained oblivious until viewers flooded his comments, pointing out the strange occurrence. Blinking Snow White. In an abandoned amusement park in Veracruz, Mexico, something unsettling was captured on camera. Known as Reino Magico, the park had been closed for years, remembered by disturbing tales and whispers of curses. A group of urban explorers ventured into the crumbling grounds, drawn by the chilling reputation. Among the fated attractions, they stumbled upon statues of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. While filming the Snow White statue, something unbelievable happened. As the camera zoomed in, the statue appeared to blink. Her lifeless eyes seemed to flicker for a moment, startling the group. Their screams filled the air as they ran, leaving behind the silent figure that seemed almost aware of their presence, leaving room for interpretation. Was it a miracle or a natural occurrence? Okay, now to the last one. This is actually mind-blowing and quite mesmerizing. The watchful eyes of Christ. The statue of Christ the Redeemer is placed at the top of Corcovado Mountain over Rio. Because of its position, it is visible from nearly every corner of the city. For decades, this majestic statue has stood there, steadfast, and as a symbol of hope and faith for millions. However, recent footage has challenged our perception of its static nature. It has caused both fascination and skepticism. It was captured on camera. The statue's eyes seem to move to the left and slightly to the right. The footage cannot be mistaken. The eyes shifted as if it was watching over the city. Everything remained still, the arms outstretched, the body unmoving. But those eyes appear to blink, to gaze, to observe. Experts eventually descended upon the footage because of what happened. They checked every frame for clues. Some actually attributed the movement to normal, clever tricks of light and shadow. Others propose more strong explanations, saying that it is supernatural. Can a work of art, a mere sculpture, truly come to life? Or is this simply our minds playing tricks on us? All these things happening are raising serious questions if they are signs from above, or can they be explained by natural laws? Do they represent divine intervention, or something else? What are your thoughts on this collective moment that these statues were caught moving on camera? Drop it in the comment section below.
Astonishingly, lightning struck the 100-foot-tall Jesus Christ statue dominating Rio de Janeiro. The breathtaking picture was recorded on Friday during a flash storm that rocked Brazil's shore. The flash struck the statue's head, which transformed it into a divine image. The lightning in the images looked nothing short of divine. It seemed as though God was displaying some supernatural strength. Let's take a closer look at this occurrence together, the biblical interpretation, and what it means for us believers. Some natural occurrences can astound and render you dumbfounded. No matter where you're located throughout the world, you can observe and appreciate such unique occurrences thanks to the accessibility of cameras and social media platforms. Recent events in Brazil included one such occurrence. On Friday, February 10th, photographer Fernando Braga shared a picture on his Instagram page showing Brazil's Christ the Redeemer statue as lightning struck it. Braga made it known that the photographs were taken at 6:55 p.m. on Friday, February 10th, 2023, using a Nikon D800 camera. The Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, is one of the most iconic monuments in the world and a representation of hope, love, and resiliency for many people. What's the statue's history, and why is it famous? In Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, there's a well-known landmark called the Christ the Redeemer statue. The statue shows Jesus Christ standing with his arms wide, signifying harmony and love. With the aid of French engineer Albert Caco, Brazilian engineer Heitor da Silva Costa built it to the specifications of French sculptor Paul Landowski, and Romanian artist George Leonida created the statue's face. The original sketch was of Christ carrying a large cross in one hand and a globe in the other. The statue earned the nickname Christ with a ball in the end, and a design of Christ with his arms out wide in the Art Deco style was chosen after evaluating the terrain. The statue's construction took a total of 9 years, starting in 1922 and finishing in 1931. It's made from reinforced concrete and 6 million soapstone tiles. Soapstone is a metamorphic rock. The soapstone came from a quarry in Ouro Preto in eastern Brazil. The statue, which is 98 feet tall, excluding its 8-meter 26-feet pedestal, is perched atop Corcovado Mountain. The statue's arms stretch 28 meters, 92 feet wide. It weighs 635 metric tons and is the largest Art Deco statue in the world, offering sweeping views of the city, one of Brazil's most iconic attractions. The Brazil Jesus statue draws millions of visitors each year. The majority of visitors use the Corcovado train to travel to the statue. A century-old, environmentally friendly electric train travels through the woodland. The statue requires a 200-step ascent from the train station for many years. To ease the journey, officials erected a number of escalators and elevators in 2003. The Christ the Redeemer monument was declared one of the new 7 wonders of the world in 2007, further solidifying its place as a universal representation of endurance, faith, and hope. A Swiss charity started a project in 2000 to identify the new 7 wonders of the world. The pyramids of Giza were the only entries still standing when the original 7 wonders list was created in the 2nd century BCE, so it was time for an update. And people worldwide concurred, since over 100 million votes were cast online or via text message. When the results were finally revealed in 2007, there were both cheers and jeers, because a number of well-known competitors, including Athens' Acropolis, were left out. The new 7 wonders of the world include the Great Wall of China, Chichen Itza, Petra, Machu Picchu, the Colosseum, the Taj Mahal, and of course, Christ the Redeemer. Is this the first time that lightning's hit the statue? It'd be a really impressive miracle for such a gigantic statue if it had never been hit by lightning. Christ the Redeemer has been struck by lightning numerous times over the years, causing damage. The 125-foot statue located in Rio de Janeiro has been struck by lightning for the 3rd time in 15 years with this latest jolt. The statue's metal framework and antenna, made of reinforced concrete and soapstone, have made it susceptible to lightning strikes during storms. The statue sustained considerable damage in 2008 after being struck by lightning, including the loss of its right thumb. The statue's multiple lightning rods nevertheless deflect the majority of these impacts. However, soon before the 2014 World Cup, lightning struck the monument, damaging a fingertip and the back of its skull. Before the first game began, officials rushed to fix the monument. The repairs lasted for weeks at $500,000, a significant cost justified by the difficulty in accessing the workspace, which is 50 meters above the earth. In addition to the construction price, it's also important to consider the loss of tourism that the construction will cause for Brazil. 3 million people still visit Christ the Redeemer annually, and for strictly mechanical reasons, it's challenging to voluntarily limit this flow. To secure the longevity of this top-notch site, however, it's required to complete this work concurrently, with efforts to upgrade the lightning protection system and welcome visitors. Storms will become more intense over time, and the statue will progressively get older due to the Christ the Redeemer lightning damage. The Brazilian government has taken measures to protect the statue from future lightning strikes, including installing a lightning rod system to direct the lightning away from the statue. According to the Brazilian Institute of Space Research, the statue is struck by 4 to 6 flashes annually. A blow occurs every 2 to 3 months, but they're more frequent during the wet season. We must keep sight of the fact that the statue is in a tropical area, and that despite Rio's size, much of its greenery has survived. The world's largest urban forest can be found here. Since the city is practically surrounded by a jungle, heat and humidity are crucial. Additionally, the monument is located at 710 meters on a granite peak, one of the several peaks surrounding it. Therefore, it is normal that it frequently experiences thunderstorms. Brazilian meteorologists claim that storms have been getting bigger and more ferocious recently. Global warming results in anomalies in the frequency and intensity of the strikes. Dr. Osmar Pinto, head of the Atmospheric Electricity Group at the Institute, said that in recent years, there have been a few storm events recording more than 1,000 flashes, which have not happened before. Granite, a rock that evacuates electricity very poorly, is used to construct the Corcovado. Both the statue structure and the lightning conductor's grounding system need to be periodically reviewed. The statue features a conductive cable that extends to the arm and covers the top of the head, resembling a thorny crown to channel lightning charge. Lightning rods need to be extended all the way to the fingers in order to shield the hands from lightning. Improving the earthing of the cables is a task that's equally significant because improved grounding increases the safety of the nearby installations. Does the lightning strike have any biblical connotation? Let's find out. In the Bible, lightning represents a number of distinct things. It may refer to God's powerful presence, both literally and/or figuratively, which causes everyone to tremble in awe. Exodus 19:16-19, Psalm 77:18. Additionally, it refers to God's vengeful punishment upon his enemies. Psalm 144:6, Psalm 18:14. According to Luke 10:18, Satan likewise fell like lightning from heaven, demonstrating the speed with which God judged him. Additionally, everyone will witness lightning as a sudden sign of Jesus' second coming, Matthew 24:27. While I won't go through every time lightning appears in the Bible, I'll offer a few verses and instances to explore each of the literal and symbolic implications mentioned above. In Exodus 19:11, we see God's desire to be seen by Moses and all his people, not simply an elect few. He also chose to reveal his immediate power and might in an obvious way, without ambiguity. How, therefore, did God make himself known to everyone? With amazing flames and smoke, thunder and lightning, and a booming trumpet blast, the Bible says in verse 16 that on the morning of the third day there was thunder and lightning, with a thick cloud over the mountain and a very loud trumpet blast. Everyone in camp trembled. What a way to enter! In this instance, God doesn't reveal himself in a quiet or modest prompting voice. No. Instead, the Lord displayed his awesome presence through lightning strikes and other breathtaking displays to make sure no one would miss it. This was enough to cause Moses and the rest of the people to quake in awe of God's omnipotence. In the Bible, actual lightning serves as one means by which God shows his majesty for all to behold. Lightning is utilized poetically throughout the Bible to represent God's vast strength, mighty presence, and sovereign will to prevail over all creation in addition to literal happenings. It says in Job 37:3 that he directed it unto the whole heaven, and his lightning unto the ends of the earth, and in Psalms 97:4 that his lightning enlightened the world. The earth saw and trembled, and finally in the book of Jeremiah 10:13, that when he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in these heavens, and he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightning with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. In other words, the Bible reminds us to properly appreciate and revere God's total dominion over all of creation through the symbolic use of lightning. Our Heavenly Father, who bestows grace upon us the riches of his mercy and grace, is God, perfect love and goodness. However, we must also keep in mind that God is the just judge of all things. Psalm 7:11, Psalm 56. He is the ultimate authority in every situation. As a result, there are instances in the Bible where God expresses his wrath by using lightning in both literal and symbolic ways. Lightning is frequently referred to in these passages as a weapon God employs against his adversaries. The Bible says in 2 Samuel 22:14-15 that the Lord thundered from heaven and the highest uttereth his voice, and he sent out arrows and scattered them, lightning and discomfited them. Also, in Psalms 144:6, cast lightning forth and scatter them, shoot out thine arrows and destroy them. In summary, the Bible's lightning can symbolize God's presence and his stern judgment against people who purposefully rebel against his kingship. In Luke 10:17, the disciples returning from their mission expressed their utter joy and shock to Jesus. They told the Son of God how they witnessed even powerful demons flee at the mention of his holy name. Jesus replied that he saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. There are several reasons why Jesus used this particular phrase. Lightning, on the other hand, is employed in this context to represent God's quick, strong, and obvious judgment against Satan's uprising in heaven. Jesus further reveals his divine pre-existence outside his time on earth when he says he witnessed Satan's fall. From this, we can also infer that lightning is a symbol of God's wrath in the Bible, most notably his sentence against Lucifer. Lightning in the Bible is also used as a sign that heralds the second coming of Jesus Christ, and in coming again this time, Jesus will not appear as a kind shepherd. Instead, the Son of God will be made manifest in all of his heavenly glory, prepared to judge everyone in accordance with the will of his Father. This occurrence will strike without prior notice, just like lightning. God's lightning-quick power will unleash for all to see. Jesus' return in the future will be clear. The Bible says in Matthew 24:27 that as the lightning cometh out of the east and shine even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. In conclusion, we observe how God employs lightning's characteristics to allude to the suddenness of Jesus' approaching return. This serves as a reminder to constantly maintain our faith, because only the Father, according to Matthew 24:36, knows when and how Jesus will return. However, one thing is certain: God promises that it will occur as quickly as lightning and be witnessed by everyone. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like, share, and subscribe for more.